am so happy to share what I'm about to work on for today's video because it is going to be a quilt as you go. Now, I have made several, I think I've made at least 3 quilt as you go quilts. If I find the pictures, I'm going to stick them here in the video. Hopefully, I can find a picture of the front and back of each quilt and you can see that process. Those quilts, one of them was given to my niece. I made one for my mom, and then I made one as a commission quilt, which was a t-shirt quilt that was quilt as you go. So I'm excited to share this process with you. I am not working on a quilt today, but I'll show you some quilt as you go blocks that that I have just kind of set aside. I've shown these in a previous video this month. These are my quilt as you go 9-patch blocks. So what it is we have a topper and then we have the batting already and the backing. And when I sew everything together, it is both stitched together and quilted. On this one, the 9 patches, I did sew the 9 patch separately, but then I went ahead and put it on the batting and backing. Today, our process is going to be similar, but we're not going to use a backing because of the project that I'm going to make. So I'll show you quickly the supplies that we'll need to make the blocks. And then I haven't decided if I'll do the second part of the process, but I have some videos that I've already made about this. And so I will link those in the description box as well. Let's go ahead and get to the materials, and then we will start putting together these quilt as you go panels. These are a couple of examples of zipper pouches that I've made before. The one that I'm going to work on for my mama is a little bit different, but I just want to show you kind of what we're going for. This one is a quilt as you go, except for it has a lining inside of it. So only part of it is quilt as you go. Since it is a bag, I am going to line it. And I've pulled my lining fabric to get some inspiration for my other fabrics, and I'll show you that in a little bit. This one is actually quilted raw edge because these are t-shirts and sports jerseys that are not going to fray. And so you can see some of the stitch lines on the top of this, like right here and then right here. But the one that we're going to work on today, the panels, I'm not going to do this because I'm going to use some different fabric strips. Here's the back. And this one I think was just kind of random. I just randomly pulled t-shirt strips out of a box or something to stitch down. And it's pretty cute. It's a good size. So let's see. This one is, it's about 10.5 by 6 inches. So it's a good bit of space there. You can see it. And that lining to me is just cute. Here's another one I made with just a solid piece of fabric. It's a little bit bigger, but here is the lining on this one. These are really simple. And like I said, I do have a couple of videos about how to make these on my channel. They will be linked in the description box. So the one that we're going to make today is going to be a little bit different. If I can find the video, I actually watched the video on my channel. I will put a picture of the look that we're going for. These are rectangle panels of batting that I've cut at 11.5 tall or 11.25 inches tall by 11 inches wide. So, but it's going to make like a crossover style. So the bag will be folded over like this. And so there will be a few more things that I need to complete it. And I'll show you those now, but I'm not gonna complete the bag as a part of this video because it's just about the quilt as you go sections. So in addition to these panels and all of my fabric, I am going to use a zipper. This is a 9-inch zipper that I got off of eBay like a lot of years ago. These are also some eBay finds. Well, I think this came from Amazon. These are 1-inch D-rings. And I need 4 of these for each bag that I make. And then I have these magnetic clasps that are like, there's 3 parts. There's this part, that part. One of them is the female. So this is probably the female. This is the male. and then these little parts that go on the back of each one of these. So I'm going to use all of these to complete the bag. But like I said, for now, we're just going to work on the batting panels. In order to start this, the first thing I did was choose my lining fabric, because that kind of determined my other fabric. And so this is what I've picked for my lining. I really love this fabric, and it's really hard to find a place in a quilt for this fabric. So I'm going to use it as the lining for this bag. I'm not going to cut this until I know how big these panels are going to be, but this is where my inspiration is coming for the outside of my bag. I decided that I'm just going to use strings. So I raided my strings stash. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see it, hopefully. Oh, that's zooming in. So, okay, still zooming in. All right, so I raided my string stash to pull inspiration. Now, some of these are a really loose interpretation. Like there's green on the other quilt, so I just pulled this because it had a little bit of green in it. Orange, some blues, black. I was looking for gray, but I have another project going on with the gray, so it's in another bin. More blues. This is just a multicolor that I pulled because I thought it was fun. More oranges. And then there's a special piece. This piece right here, this is some polyester from my grandmother's quilt. And so I'm going to use this on both sides of the bag. This grandmother is my mom's mom. So just like on the fist, I'm going to use some of this on this quilt. And then I think there are a few other pieces maybe that came from that project as well. So we're going to start, and our goal is to just be strings. So I'm going to clear this out a little bit, and then we'll get this batting ready and start string piecing. I was going to try to structure this a little bit more. You can make this as structured or as unstructured as you want to. As I was just thinking about this, what I was going to do first was draw a diagonal line across here to get an exact 45-degree angle on each one of these blocks. But I'm really not feeling that. I'm not going to do that because I pulled out my grandma's piece of fabric. And to me, this piece is really wide. And generally, I might not have chosen it, but I'm just going to use it anyway. You can make these strips as wide or as narrow as you want to. The wider the strips, the faster it will cover your piece. The narrower the strips, the more strips it's going to take. So here's what I'm going to do to get this started. I do have my pins because I'm going to pin the first couple of these. I might pin all of them depending on how wide they are. And I'm just going to take one. I'm going to take this piece. This is polyester. I don't care. I think it'll be fine on my mama's bag. And I'm just going to cut it. I've put it from corner to corner. This panel is not square, so I know it's not going to be perfect, and I'm not going to let that concern me. But I have the, I just went ahead and put it here. Now on this piece, my grandma did sew this herself. That doesn't mean anything, but you can see there's a crease here. So I have a decision to make on this one, because I can either like try to open it up or, you know, and hold it down like this. Actually, I would turn it this way. And I think that could work. I mean, because like if I do it like that, then we don't even see the other part, which is fine. But I think what I might do, well, no. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make it the same on both sides. So I'm going to have it like this. And I'm going to cut it just a little bit beyond. Oh, now here's the thing. If I cut this right here, it's going to cut off that green. So I'm going to change course just a little bit. Okay. And if this happens for you like this on a project like this, it is what it is. It's just our creative process. What I'm going to do on this one is put the other end of this piece on it like that. and then I can cut down here where the seam is. And it's gonna be so cute. All right, now for some of these, for this one, I don't really have to press it, but for some of these pieces, as I randomly pull them out, I will have to press, and when it's time to do that, I'll do that off camera. So these are gonna be my first pieces. They are right side up, and then the next piece that I add is going to be right side down. So I'm just gonna randomly pull, and what would be really neat would be if I had all of my grandma's fabrics here, like all of those polyesters, to create this quilt. And I'm so tempted to just go look over there and see what I have. Oh wait, here's one. Okay, so this is a little strip from that project. Okay, so I'm just pulling this is interfacing from where I interface that piece. And I think I am going to look and see what else I have. I know that I've pulled some of this stuff from other, like it's been in other projects, but I don't know. I like literally just thought of this as I'm making the video. So I don't know how it's going to play, but I'm going to see what I can do. All right, so here, and when I get to this seam, I will probably piece it so that it's open here. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut right here. And now I'm starting to get very nervous / excited. The only thing that my mom said about this was that she wanted it to be dark. And I'm here for it for her, because if that's what she wants, that is definitely what she gets. But I'm really hoping that I can find a lot of these pieces to create it. To create this bag for her. The only thing, I'm going to pin this down right now. My only concern is that I will like it so much that I will either want my own or I will want this one. But we won't tell her that because she asked for it so she can have it. But I love, now that I'm doing it this way, I love this idea of seeing if I can find some of those scraps and putting them on here. And like they'll be in my strings, they'll be in my, I don't even know where all they will be. All right, so I'm going to take this piece, go ahead and put it under the machine, and I'm going to stitch 1/4 inch along that side, removing the pins as I go. And I have my leader ender here, but I'm going to switch to using the other block as a leader ender. So I will speed up this little bit of sewing. And again, I'm using my batting as the foundation, and hopefully it sews fine. I didn't consider that this is polyester because I just decided to do this. So we'll see how it stitches. Okay. And then I'm going to remove the pins as I get to them. And it's stretching just a little bit. You can see it as it gets to the pin, it's stretching. But I'm not going to stress about that. And I think that she is really going to love this. I hope she does anyway. Because it's all, I hope it'll be all of her mama's fabrics. So let's see, I'm going to go down to the end. Okay. And now I can do the same thing on this side with the other one. I left the, I'm going to leave this one on here as a leader. And so you can see that it is stitched on both sides. So it is quilted. It will be quilted as we go. All right. So this is part of the piece that I just cut. So I'm going to take the blue here and I'm going to line it up, pin it. I'm going to stitch it off camera, and then I will show you what it looks like when everything is stitched down. Or I'll pull the other one off and get ready to get to the next part. All right, I have my first two pieces stitched onto my batting, but I do want to show you what I found in my stash. Now, I have finished, before today, I finished 2 quilts that my grandmother started. I'm going to put a picture of each one of them here. One of them, it was an entire quilt top, and I just gave it a border and put a backing on it. And then the other one was actually, it was 2 panels made out of this polyester fabric. I finished off each of the panels. I made them bigger with my own fabrics, and then I made them like a top and a back of the same quilt. So when you see that one, it's called Polly and Esther. And I will link both of those videos in my in the description box. And then maybe at the end of the video, I'll show you where the inspiration for that quilt, because I still have one of them. Okay. I haven't decided if I'm going to press this yet. I don't think I am, because I don't want to fool with the polyester on the iron. But but I didn't even tell you. So some of these pieces come from the Polly and Esther quilt. Like I found this really long strip that was one of the borders for the for that quilt. And so it has a lot of different options to choose from as far as fabric. This is some original from her quilt. This is some more original from her quilt. This one is from the first quilt that I made. This is where I added a border to the quilt. This was the backing of that quilt. And then I had some denim on the back as well. This was the other part of that quilt that I had to, the border. I ended up putting like 2 borders on it because I ran out of this fabric and I had to buy that fabric. I think that's what happened. This is another part of the border. This is from Grandma's original polyester quilt, both of these browns. And then this one I pulled just a strip of it because it's already here. This is another part of that quilt. This one is actually from the Quilt-As-You-Go quilt that I made my mom. So I'm going to put that in there. Here's another little skinny strip. This one I pulled because I just love it. And then I think these are both from the original quilt. I need to go back and look at the pictures, but either way, I think I'm going to use it because it does match the lining fabric. And then when I found extra pieces of the lining fabric, I set those aside as well. So I'm not sure how I'm going to approach this, like if I'm just going to put them in a box and pull randomly, or I don't know. So for my next strip, I think I'm going to put it on this side, but I want to, since I have so much, so many different pieces, I'm going to give this side a straight edge here. Let's see. We need a ruler and a rotary cutter, and things are just everywhere right now. So, okay. And then as I pull my pieces, if they need a quick press, I got the iron on over there. Okay. So for this one, just going to give it a cut, and I'm going to go like behind the camera first. Okay. And I should zoom out a little bit, but I didn't. Okay. And that, my ruler went crooked on me, but I'm not going to worry about that. It's not going to matter. Okay. And so here is what we're looking at, and I'm going to add it to this side. So I'm just going to randomly pull, and I got a piece of muslin. I'm not sure if I should use this. I'm not going to use it because it's too light. Let's dig again. See what we can find. All right, so we have this piece. Is it wide enough or long enough? It is not. I don't know if you can see. There's a little bit hanging on the edge. Let's zoom out just a tinch. Okay, so there's a little bit hanging over the edge. So I'm not going to pick that one. Dig again. All right, we got a little navy blue action, and it's a really long piece. So let's see. And that should be long enough. I'm just going to give it a rough cut. Okay. And this one could use a little press. Let me give it a little press, and then I will stitch it on, and we'll go to the next piece. All right, for this next piece, I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. I have this, I'm going to just kind of fold it back like that, but I'm going to trim this and give it a sort of straight edge here. And I only have, the longest ruler I have is this 24-inch ruler. And what I should do is put my weight at the end of it, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to make sure that it's sort of lined up, and I'm not even going to worry about if it's perfectly straight. I'm just going to get a straight edge off of it. So let's see. Just trying to hold the ruler down. It still moved, but I'm not going to, it's okay. All right. And then let's see, that didn't quite cut. So where is it? Right there. Okay. Okay, for my next piece, I'm going to see if I can randomly, quote, randomly pull a solid piece. If not, I'm just going to pull a solid piece. Since this is pieced, then I'm going to try to grab a solid for this one. Let's see. Well, that's solid, but it's brown, so we're not going to go with that. Let's see. We have a piece of denim here. Now, I have a choice. I can leave it as it is because it's nice and big, or I can cut it. I can cut it down. I think I'm going to cut it in half for this. I'm kind of just loosely measuring. Okay. And I'm going to cut it in half. Well, probably not in half, but I will cut a little bit off of it. So maybe like an inch or an inch and a half. Let's cut an inch and a half off of it. Well, let's cut an inch and a quarter. So it'll still be kind of thick. Again, you can determine how you want to do it. This way I can I can fit more fabrics on it. But if I wanted to leave it as it was, I don't see a big deal with that either. Okay. Now on the other one, I didn't pin. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to pin this one either. Just going to put it right sides together and make sure that it's lined up and give it a stitch. And it's really nostalgic to think of my grandmother's fabrics here. It's really nice. Well, my grandmother and my mom, you know, that these are all quilts that we share or shared. In some form or another. So, you know, my mom gave me the quilt tops that my grandma made. And I was able to finish them. So that's kind of cool. And then there's one more that I have, but it's my great grandmother's. So, you know, but I think this is really cool. All right, for the next one, for this one, I want to see if I can find, well, this one is pieced and I really should go to this side. So let's see if we can find something solid to go here. Color doesn't really matter. I just want one piece. Let's see what we got. We have this and it's pieced. And I really shouldn't use it right there. I should wait unless I turned it. I could turn it like that. Actually, I'm going to put it on this side. And so along with string piecing, this is also like improv piecing. I'm just making this up as I go along. So this one can go right along there. I'm going to give it a little press and then we will stitch it. Right, next piece. I'm going to put the next piece on the other side, I think. I would love to give this denim a press, but that finger press held it okay, I think. All right, so let's go to this one. Um, let's see. I think I want to add a piece of this here, and I will need to press it, and then I'll cut it down a little bit. So let's see about how much we need on this one. And this does have the selvage on it. I don't think it matters. Well, it doesn't matter right now, but when I get to the selvage, I won't use it in this one. I could if I wanted to. I don't think it's going to make a difference, but I don't think I'm going to opt out on the selvage. So let's press this, and then I am going to pin it. Okay. All right, now for this piece. What's it gonna be? Let's see, is this gonna be long enough? I think that the brown is too close to another brown. Let's skip that one. Let's go to, let me see if this burgundy will fit here. Even though there's more of that right there. It's okay. So it will fit right here. I do need to press it. So I'll press it, pin it, then stitch it down. Okay, now I want to look at some of these longer, these pieced sections here. And what I'm going to do is just choose where to cut. I think this one's going to go on this side. So I'm going to choose to cut where I can get 3 pieces. And so now I have just a short piece down here and then a short piece down here. I'm going to press this and then stitch it on. Okay, so for this one, let's lighten it up a little bit. Let's see, we have this piece. It is not really long enough, but I think it might be okay. I think we'll have enough hanging over the edge to make it work. And it's mostly one color, so I think it's going to be nice here. All right, let's see what we can do on this one. All right, I want to put a skinnier strip here. Let's grab, this one is pieced a little bit. So let's do, see, I already have some of these. So let's do something that we don't have. I'll go here. Oh, I can just do this light. Well, I don't know. Let's put it over here. And that's pretty neat that I can just cut that little section out. Actually, I don't want to do that. I'm going to add a skinny strip of this because this side doesn't, it only has a teeny bit of burgundy on it. So let's add this little skinny strip here. And these pieces are from the same quilt, which is very interesting. Okay, and yes, I need to pull these threads off. But you can see how long this stuff has been in my stash. I should go back and look to see when I made this. I think that this quilt was made in 2017. So it's been a pretty several years. Okay. And then the polyester quilt was made shortly after that, not too long, maybe sometime in 2018. So these are like bringing back some old stuff. And once you start making Quilt-As-You-Go string blocks like this, of course, it depends on the size that you use, but these don't really take very long. Hopefully you can see that in the video. It's not taking long at all to put these together. Let's see where we're going next. Let's do, I think I want to do one of these. So we'll put it right there. I will press it and I'll cut it in half and then I'm going to stick it right there. Really, I could just keep it big. I might do that. Just keep it big. Well, no, because this piece is pretty big. So I'll cut this one in half and then I only have one more triangle to do over there. Okay. So let's see what's going to be next. I don't know. Let's go dig at the bottom and see what comes up. All right, we have this piece. It's a little skinny. So we're going to put it on this side. It does need a little press, so I'll press it. All right, so on this side, we just have a little triangle to grab. And then on this side, we have a little bit more room, but I could do it with a big triangle if I wanted to. Okay, so here's what I'll do. I'm gonna take this piece and I'm just gonna cut something off of it. There's no green on this one, so we're just gonna put a little bit of green here. Okay, and I'll cut it. I will press it. It doesn't necessarily need it, but I'm gonna press it anyway. All right. Okay, now for this one, what shall we do? I don't know. Let's do okay, so we have this one has come up again. So I'll do this since it's a little bit wider here, and then we'll add a triangle on the end. So we're so close on these to having it done. And I've been filming, so I'm not exactly how long it's taken, but hopefully you can see that it's really not a long process. Okay. All right, so this side is covered here. Let's see what we can do for the other side. I want a piece that's a little bit wider. Should I add this one here? Or should I go a different way? Let's see, let's add a piece here, but I'm not gonna make it, I'm not gonna cover the whole thing. But I might as well. I don't know. Let me see what else I have. That may be a color that we haven't used yet. Oh, we have this orange. This orange is like one of my favorite fabrics. Oh, and I have it right here also. Let's see if this is big enough. Hey, it is. So since I love this orange so much, I'm gonna keep it big as long as I can. So I'll take this little skinny and put it on there. Okay. And really, this little section can probably go in my strings. So I'll set it over to the side. All right. And I'm pretty sure I pulled it out of my strings, but it's going back. Let's see here. It's going to be a tight fit, but I think it'll be okay. All right. And I didn't press it, so hopefully I won't regret that. Okay. All right, so here needs a little triangle, but I think I'm going to go to the other side first. See what we can do here. All right, I'm going to add a pieced portion on this one. I'm going to look for some fabrics that I haven't used. So let's do the blues here. So I'm just going to cut a section and then cut it down. But I want to make sure that I get both of these pieces in here. And really, I could have gone, I love these colors too, but I already have a couple of these blues, and so I'm not gonna do that one. All right, so we have this here, and since we want to make sure it's pieced, I'm gonna try to put the seam in the middle. Not gonna press it. Hope for the best. Okay. All right, so we got one more piece for this one. So let's see, what shall it be? We got green on this end. Let's see. Kind of want to put this blue on this end. I don't know, but I have it right here and it's big enough. So there we go. Okay. So we're almost done with this. You can see that it's so fun and a no stress, what do they call it? Mindless sewing, sort of mindless sewing. It's just making light decisions that don't really matter in the long run. And I think that, to me, we get a cohesive look. But the cohesion doesn't come from the fabrics. It comes from the fact that I know where all the fabrics, like they all came from the same quilts, but they don't like match. We get a nice scrappy look. All right, we have two more triangles to put on this one. So I'm trying to see where the fabrics are that we haven't used. I didn't put that orange in. And we also don't have this green. So let's do orange on one side, green on the other side, I think. So let me see. Let me see here. I'm just going to cut a little strip. And again, I would love to keep this as big as I can for as long as I can, but hey, it's for a good cause. And I don't know if you can see it, but we made quite a dent in that pile. It was kind of stacked, but now it's not. Let's zoom out just a little bit. But you can see that we made a dent. We did good. We did well. Okay. I'm just gonna cut it. And really I can cut this one. Yeah, I can cut it in half this way. Not exactly in half, but same on this one. Okie dokie. Now, since my other block is done, then for this block, I'm going to go back to my Jacob's ladder for my ender, or for my leader ender for this one. So you'll get to see, hopefully you'll get to see a finished Jacob's ladder block in just a few minutes also. So it's like a double pleasure. So. I cleared all of my scraps out of the way. I actually put them where they go. It's pretty cool. And now I just have my pieces left. I went ahead and pressed them. I used a pressing cloth to get everything pressed nice and flat as I could. I know that polyester wasn't going to press perfectly flat because I just didn't think it would. So now I'm just going to take these pieces and see how big I can make them. They will be rectangular, and I'm good with that. So this one is, it looks like I can get a 10 3/4 by 11 3/4. I think that's good. And then let me look at the other one. See how big we can get it. Whatever it is, I'll cut them both to the same height or to the same measurements. I can get the 10 3/4 by 11 3/4 on this one as well. So I'm just going to, wait, can I? Let me see. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these. So on this side, I'm just lining it up on this side. I'm going to use my big rotary cutter here. Hopefully it will work. Let me make sure that you guys can see what I'm doing. Trying to get out of the camera. Okay, so it's going to be 10 3/4 on the short side, 11 3/4 on the big side. So let's see how well we can do with that. Okay. All right. And then as I flip it, I will match those measurements. So 11 3/4 along the bottom, 10 3/4 along the right side. All right. So here's one. We're going to do the big reveal in just a second. So I'll do the other one, and then we will get a look at both of these panels together in just a minute. I am so excited to see how these panels turned out. Let me show them to you. Here is one of the panels. It's so cute. And again, these are 10 3/4 by 11 3/4. Here's the second panel. I am really happy with them. Hopefully you can see that it really takes no time to do a quilt as you go panel. If you wanted to, you could add the backing to this and quilt the whole thing at the same time. But as I said before, this is going to be a tote bag and it's going to have this lining. And I love that I decided to go with my grandmother's fabrics. This one actually has more of my grandma's fabrics, but it has this nice vintage feel that I think fits both the panel and the lining. So they're so cool. I think they're going to look so great together. My only concern now, my only question is what should be the quote outside of the bag and what should be the inside of the bag. Um, the inside for me, I mean the part that flaps over. So if you have your own opinion, let me know in the comments what you think. I love both of these choices. I can't wait to get this finished as a little tote bag and get it to my mom. Now, if you want to know how I'm going to take all of this other stuff and turn this into a bag, I have a video about that. It's for a different bag, but I'll link that video in the description box so that you can go check out how to turn these two panels and the lining into a zipper tote. If you have any questions about what you've seen in this video today, leave them in the comments below. Thumbs up this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.